What is up, guys? My name's Geoff. That's Mike. Do you have trust issues? We're going to dive into that a little bit. Here comes the intro. Hey, how you doing?
Oh, it's going to be fun.
Oh, I don't even know if it sounds good or not. I should probably listen to it. I think I should.
You remember that show? Are we recording?
Yeah. I don't know where to put stuff like this. This is great stuff. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, brother. Another week down. I'm just strolling along. I mean, man, getting closer and closer and closer to this baby coming, the new grandbaby.
Not even my baby, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, she's a fighter. She wants to get out early. She's kind of pushing to get out a little sooner than what she needs to be in there. We're trying to keep her in there and cook a little bit more.
Yeah, you always want them to cook a little bit more.
Heck yeah.
How
you been doing? How you doing?
I am good. It's been a week. Like, just in general. Homeschooling, working. Everybody's at home. Like, it's COVID. Everybody's going through the same thing. But I'm just like, can we travel yet? Like, I don't even want to leave the country. I just want to, like, go to the beach.
Oh, I don't know. That's a great question.
I need to get out of the house.
Anybody that knows, let us know.
Yeah, anyway, that's where I'm at. Like, we're a road trip family. Like, we do that pretty regularly, and we've not gone on a road trip in a year and a half. And I'm just like, yeah, we came back from my parents' house end of 2019, beginning of 2020, like December. So it's been a year and, maybe not a year and a half. It's been a year and 2 months since we've left Arizona.
Yeah, that can be rough.
Bro. Anyway. Our question.
Ooh, yes, our questions.
Would you rather be vigorously tickled nonstop for 3 hours or not eat for 3 days, and why?
Easy. I mean, I don't have to eat. I mean, there's a lot of me left there.
That's my answer.
I mean, I say that, but I mean, my love language is touching and tickling. I love to do that.
Yeah,
that's not a typical guy thing to say.
Physical touch.
Physical touch.
That's
physical touch. That's
yes.
That's how I show love, and I don't like to be tickled.
Not sponsored. If you don't know your love language or your spouse's, you should figure it out.
But I mean, I can go without eating for a couple of days and be fine. Just as long as I got some water, obviously. But
you have to drink water.
Yeah, you have to drink water.
Yeah.
But
mine's the same way. I just hate being tickled. I'd rather not eat for 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as I can sleep.
There's a lot of me too. I assume, yeah.
But,
I've heard once you get past the first 24 hours, it's like okay. Like fasting on purpose.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, I don't fast that long. Usually my fasting is when I sleep or something.
That's like my fasting's between breakfast and lunch.
Right?
Well, you guys that do intermittent fasting, I don't know how you do it. Because I'm like, I just finished eating breakfast. Can I have a snack? My kids are the same way. Like, we'll have breakfast at 7, at 7:30. Like, Daddy, can I have a snack?
Oh, wow.
Anyway, trust issues.
Trust.
Have you given your girlfriend or your wife a reason not to trust you? That's a tough question because we don't always want to answer it.
Right.
If we know, but they don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is totally like, we didn't think about that, right? I was thinking about this. We were talking about, it's like, answering this question, have you given, and I've not asked my wife this. I assume I haven't. I don't have, like, that's not a thing for me. But I was thinking, I was like, man, I have friends that I know have been dumb and their girlfriends don't know.
Right.
And it's none of my business to tell them or to share that, like, not at all. But have you given, it's like, and, we're going to get into it. And so I'm just like, man. So I don't think I've given my wife a reason not to trust me because there's a lot of things that, like, what are we talking about? Faithfulness in our relationship, taking care of our children. Like, I know women who don't trust their husband to watch their own kids. It's not that they don't love them or don't like them. They worry about their husbands going to make elephant toothpaste or something in the backyard and getting in trouble. But on a way, that's done that. But that's like trust in what? Is it trust in everything, like blanketed, or is it a specific thing? This thing, like I trust my husband to drive me to work, but I don't trust him alone with my kids. If you don't trust your husband alone with your kids, we are not the guys you should be listening to. That's a whole different conversation. Anyway, yeah. What do you think? Run with that.
I mean, trust is very key to a relationship. Now, when I'm thinking trust, like we talked about last week, if we talked about, hey, what can I do for you type of thing, and our girlfriend or wife will tell us, same thing here, in my opinion. Hey, is there something that I've done that you don't trust me about?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not worried about it, guys, feel free to ask her.
Sure.
And
if you are worried about it, why are you worried about it?
Yeah, there's a whole different topic we're going to discuss on that. But the trust is essential for a relationship to work. If there's no trust, it's going to break down. It's going to fall apart.
Absolutely.
And if you and guys and women, I mean, it's not just on guys. But since we discuss on what we know, the guy side of things, if we're doing something that we know that they wouldn't like, it's probably, our women are really smart.
Oh, my mom used to tell me that about everything. If you can't roll over and pray about it at the end of the day, you probably shouldn't be doing it. I think that applies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
If you wouldn't tell your wife about it, and see, that's my problem. And there's always been this joke, and I forgot about this when we were doing show prep. Kim and I dated for a long time before we got married. I think it was like 3 years. I'm probably way wrong on that, honey. I'm sorry. But we dated once before, too. And that was just we broke up. There wasn't a reason to... Well, there was a reason, but it wasn't because I can't say it wasn't because I was stupid. I didn't cheat or do anything like that. I just, I don't do long-distance relationships, and I broke up with her, and I moved on. She calls that the time we don't speak of. I totally lost where I was going with that. I had a thought, and it was awesome.
Oh. I mean, and I get it.
That's why we need to write things down.
Yeah, notes help.
Show prep. I share everything with Kim. Most everything. If I'm a pastor, so there are things that are told to me in confidence from people in my church. My wife doesn't care. She doesn't need to know. Those kind of things I don't tell her. When I say I tell my wife everything. For my bachelor party, we went to the Heart Attack Grill. Not a big deal, right?
Right.
This is pre-Pastor Geoff for all of you who are watching today. If you don't know what the Heart Attack Grill is, don't Google it. Basically, it's a hamburger Hooters.
Yeah.
Anyway, hamburger shop. Anyway, went to and I did this in both places. I did it here. We lived here, so I went here with some friends. But in Virginia, I went to Heart Attack Grill in Virginia, and I didn't know there was more than one until I went to both. I always thought it was just local. I went with a bunch of friends of mine. I told Kim what we were doing. We're not being we were being stupid, but we weren't being dumb.
Right.
I told her where I went. There's going to be a bunch of girls running around in bikinis serving French fries and hamburgers, and the owner wears a lab coat as the doctor.
Right.
That's why they call it the Heart Attack Grill. I told her, and I tell her stuff like that, and if she cared, she didn't. She didn't say don't go, but I told her. The rest of my friends didn't tell their other halves where they were going or what was happening. None of them are together anymore.
Oh. Hey, that's
now they're not together because of that, but that's the kind of trust thing we're talking about. Do I need to tell my wife every single little thing I do? Yes. Does she care? Does it matter? Probably not. But that's the kind of thing hey, I'm going to the grocery store. I'll be right back. And then actually going to the grocery store. Or, hey, I'll be back in a minute. Where are you going? She's not asking because she's trying to keep tabs on you. Maybe she is. Maybe. Have you given her a reason not to trust you? And so that's where I think through that. But there's just so many more thoughts now as we're talking about it. What does that look like? What does your wife or girlfriend not trusting you look like?
Well, unfortunately, again, this was years and years and years ago. I know what that looks like firsthand. I did talk to my wife before all of this.
Yeah.
And it's not something I'm proud of, guys, or anything like that. But, I did fail. I did fail in my marriage. And it wasn't just, we can't hide it. It's there. Your wives can see it.
Oh yeah.
If you're gonna do something, just don't do it. Don't think about it. Don't subject yourself to it. Don't subject your spouse to that. That was the worst thing in my life that I've ever done to my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not proud of it. But I mean, the suspicion grows. You can sit there and know when your wife knows. And guys that have done this before, they're gonna try and hide it. I've talked to other guys, deny. And that's the worst thing. Those guys are still, they're no longer married. They're still in that denial. And in my case, it was, an unfortunate event, and there was infidelity. And again, I'm not proud of it. And she knows about it. Obviously, if she didn't, she will now. But she knows about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm just
very
saying.
Serious. I'm like, I hope she doesn't know.
Yeah, but I mean, there was a moment, and it took a long time to build trust.
Sure.
And if somebody, I'm going to tell you guys, as somebody who's been through it, if you want your marriage to work, you will subject yourselves to everything that your wife wants to do, wants to know where you're going. If she wants to do whatever and you have to keep tabs,
sure,
you do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it came down to. I realized I messed up.
Sure.
I realized it was bad, and I realized that I wanted to stay married. And whatever, I sat down at the table one night and I said, whatever I need to do, you tell me, I will do it.
And I think and this probably looks a little bit different for every couple, but there's hope in that.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of grace, and we have talked about your story, but that's a long process, and that's seeing it from both sides. Did you give your wife a reason not to trust you? Yes. You've seen what that looks like.
Yeah.
But you've also experienced the climbing back out of the valley on the other side. And there's a lot of grace and a lot of hope in that for somebody who's like, some guy's watching, sitting at home, knowing that he's got 2 girlfriends, and they both know. You don't know they both know, but they both know. Because we're not as careful as we think we are. Yeah. And if you don't think that they don't know, don't think that doesn't make any sense, Geoff. If you think that they don't know, what does that look like? Hovering. And what do I mean by hovering? Like, they always want to be with you, but not always want to be with you in like the I love you, cuddly want to be with you. They want to be with you to occupy your time so you're not with somebody else.
Right.
We thought through constantly checking up on you, but not like in the caring way when we say 212. And if you haven't seen the 212 episode, I think it's episode 3 of season 1.
Yeah,
it says 212 in the caption. I'll link it up somewhere. There. Anyway, 212. Check on your wife. So for us, and that's one of if you haven't done the challenge, I need to go back and watch these to figure out which challenges I need to check up on. 212. You check on your spouse twice in the morning, once at lunchtime, and twice in the afternoon. But it's different. Like it feels different. It may be a little bit borderline disrespectful, not on purpose, but just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I am total. Now I'm like, so was it last week? I'm like, yeah, I'm totally younger than you. Because in my head, I'm like, I got wild and out things happening. Like Emmanuel, Emmanuel Hudson, he's got like asking all these questions, making statements. And it's the spouse. Like the wife is asking all these questions. What have you been doing? Where you been at?
Huh.
You were where? With who? Doing what? With who? What are you doing? Yeah. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So that's like.
And it. Yeah. and there's a total. I mean, when they're doing that, when they're hovering, when they're
Yeah.
being that way, or they're looking at you in a not caring way, and they just want to be with you that way. There's a reason. They just don't do that to do that.
All right, so I really like this because this is not common, and we're gonna get a lot of flack for this.
Yeah, that's all right.
Would you give your wife blanket access to your phone?
My wife has blanket access to my phone. My
Mine
wife
does
has
too.
my password.
Now, my wife has my password because they're the same password.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that was one of the things way back when,
Oh, yeah.
before we had regular, what we have now, the smartphones or anything like that. It was, my wife, I would come home, my wife knows how to go look at our bills.
Sure. Yeah.
Because you can't hide it on your bill.
No. And our relationship's the same way. I manage our day-to-day. I manage all of our finances now.
Yeah.
Kim and I go back and forth. We switch every 3 or 4 years. I won't do any finances, and she'll do them, and then we'll switch a couple years later. But joint accounts.
Yeah.
I have a business account that she has passwords and stuff to, so she can see them. But she'd look at my phone and be like, "Oh, it's the financial app box, and it has all of our bank stuff in it." Yeah, same way. Would you let your wife or girlfriend, for you guys, Mike's wife, your guys' girlfriends, GPS track you? Not that they should, but would you let them?
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, nowadays, I think we talked about that. You can do that on your phones.
Yeah.
I mean,
With iPhones, anybody, you can share
Where's
your
my phone?
location.
Yeah, sure.
No, for us, it's for us. For Kim and I, we do, but I ride a motorcycle. And generally speaking, I've not really ever had a job where I couldn't answer the phone right away.
Right.
So if she texts me and I don't answer right away, usually there's something wrong. Now, or I'm Uber driving.
Right.
And I can't answer right away. She can look and see where I'm at or what's going on and see where I'm moving or what I'm... Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to or you should, but that's those are
but
conversations we've had. Like, hey, would you do this?
And real quick, if I can interject, I mean, if you're a guy it was in my position, if you want your marriage to work, you're going to allow that.
Well, yeah.
If you really love your wife and you really are sorry for what you did, you would allow that. I mean, if you are true to yourself and you're true to your wife, there would be no issues. Yes. Here's the G. I'll go buy it for you. Here it is. I'll install it. I'll show you how to work the app.
So I like this one. And some of this is context. We write down some of this stuff, but some of these things just comes to us. Come to whatever. I cannot talk, and we talk for a living. Like outside of this, we talk for a living. If you wouldn't, not saying you have to, like this is not a requirement. Like for your marriage to work, you have to be able to have blanket access to your phone and GPS track. You don't.
No.
But if you're not willing to, why?
Yeah, why? What is going on? Is there something? Because obviously, I mean, I hate referring back to it, but back in the time when I was doing bad things, my phone would never leave my side.
Sure.
It was like, oh, I got to run back in the house, or I'm going to the bathroom. Nope, I got to bring my phone with me. Things like that. Where now it's.
I've left my house without my phone.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Now, way back before my marriage, so before I was married, when I was dating, oh yeah, dude, I was like, more than one girlfriend was not uncommon. I'm going to get a lot of crap for that one too. Do not text me and ask me or call me or whatever and ask me if I had more than one girlfriend while we dated.
Oh, yeah. Again, pre-Pastor Geoff.
Oh, good grief, was that pre-Pastor Geoff? Because there's two problems, and I'm going to get real now. There's two problems with it. One, I have to remember your name.
Oh, no.
I was that guy. I'm like, what are you talking about? We date, are you sure? Oh,
should just date.
We got time for a side story. This is totally unrelated, but I have to share this story. So Kim and I were moving out of our apartment, and we went through everything, got everything. We're gonna break our lease because we bought a house. We're gonna move, And this lady at the desk in there, in the apartment complex in the office, was just mean, like nasty mean.
Oh.
Like Karen would be an improvement mean. That's the only way. And like, Kim's gonna watch this and just crack up laughing. But like, so we had everything organized, and I'm like, if you tell me it's gonna happen, and I show up and it doesn't happen, I'm gonna be grumpy.
Yeah.
So we like go back to this appointment that we're supposed to have for our walkthrough, make sure we cleaned out our apartment, all that stuff to get our deposit back. And it was for like 11 o'clock. And they're like, well, I don't know who scheduled your appointment for 11. They're at a maintenance meeting at 11. You can come back at 1. I'm like, no, I have an appointment for 11. I have an email that says I should be here at 11. Find somebody. And I was grumpy. This lady blew a gasket. Like, she was not cooperative at all. Wasn't like, and I wasn't like being loud or obnoxious about it. I was being a normal human being. And she was just like not being customer friendly at all. Kim and I get in the car like 2 hours later to drive home, and she's like, did you date her at some point? Because she is pissed. And I looked at her like, what are you talking about? She's like, is that one of those ladies you can't remember their name?
Oh, my goodness. Oh,
it's
that's
like,
hilarious.
I've told Kim, like, we can look through like some of my like yearbooks and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. I'm sure
Why
I
did
went
they
out
write
with them.
this?
But like for all over the place. Like I went to school on one side of town. I was playing in clubs and bars to pay rent and living. Like I don't know half of the people I went. Yeah, some of these like we bought drinks 30 years ago, and I'm like, well, I'm 37, so it wasn't 30 years ago.
Wow.
But I'm like, great. Did you have a good time? Because I don't know who you are. So
Oh my goodness.
somebody's gonna text me, but like, do you remember that time we went out? Nope.
No.
I don't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday, and I eat the same thing every day.
Right.
Anyway, have you given your wife a reason not to trust you? If you have, you probably should come clean about it, but be prepared for the consequences and the answers you don't want.
Right.
And that's just me being, honest. Like, hey, or stop it. Like, that's the first step is like, hey, just quit being, whatever it is. And we're not saying like necessarily being unfaithful, but are you telling your wife you're going to play, going to the grocery store and you're going to play golf for, half a day?
Yeah.
Stop doing that. Just tell your wife you're going to play golf. That's the kind of thing, like that's all of that stuff. Because those are all part of the deal.
Yeah.
We got 7 minutes and then we're going to run out of time. But I like this one because some parent is going to watch this and get this idea and be like, but do you have secret apps on your phone that hide things from your spouse? We're going to get a lot of people in trouble with this one. What are we talking about? So on your phones, and mine has the timer, by the way. That's why I keep looking at my phone. You can password protect your apps in your phone, where if the password's put in wrong, you get pictures. If the password's put in right, you get better pictures, maybe. Probably not better pictures. It's not the right word.
Yeah. Inappropriate.
Or whatever. Apps that,
Something
I did this as a kid. I'm sorry, Mom. You know that point in your life where you start telling your parents about all of the things that you did while you were a kid? I'm past that point with my mom, so she will be okay with it. Yeah. Anyway, you can save things in your phone that people can't see without a password. If you put the password in wrong, it shows photos or something. Anyway. Those are the kind of things we're talking about. Don't hide things from your... Hiding Christmas presents or flowers, like that's not the same thing. Like those are surprises. Hiding what you're doing for the afternoon or where you're going or, receipts, whatever. Like don't hide that stuff.
If you can't openly do it with your wife, in my opinion, you shouldn't be doing it at all.
True. Facts. Go watch that guy on TikTok. He's hilarious. I'm clearly... Yeah. I spend a lot of time on TikTok.
Oh, really? I've never gotten on there.
Don't. And I'm not even a contributor. I'm the guy on TikTok, and you guys know, if you watch TikTok, you know what I'm talking about. There are creators, and there are consumers. I'm very much a consumer. I've like 4 videos, and none of them are of me.
Oh, wow.
And the rest is just like, everything else is saved videos that I save for content like this. Like, I save them, and I get ideas. Like, ooh, that would be cool to talk about on the show.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll start putting stuff out on TikTok. If you want to see us put stuff on TikTok, well, if you want to see me put stuff on TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, I would have to create an account or something.
Send us a message. I'll start making TikTok content. Yeah. Anyway, so the challenge? Like, what's the takeaway from this? If you've given your wife, if you are practicing a way, if you're actively doing something that your wife would question, or if you're hiding something from your wife, it's probably not great. Probably not great. It isn't great.
It isn't.
And we're going to talk about this next week, like communication. Where does communication break down? If you've given your wife a reason not to trust you, how do you fix that? That's not something I can talk about. That's something you need to go to therapy, seek help, talk to a professional. That's our disclaimer. We are two guys who talk about marriage from our perspective. But if you've gotten to a point where you need mental health or therapy or something to build your relationship back together, go find it. And that's okay. Like, that's not a bad thing. That's what I got. You all good?
Yeah, I'm good, brother.
Guys, thanks for watching. Hit the like button. Leave us a comment. Let us know if there's a topic you want to try to tackle from our perspective. We will see you next week where we start isn't the right word. We continue our conversation about communication that we started in season 1 back when we thought we knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
Maybe we might know what we're doing now, but we're going to continue to talk about communication. Stop hiding things from your wife and go delete that secret app and all the stuff that's in it too.
Yes.
Guys, we'll see you next week. Peace.